Alliance also had a series against none other than our good friends Navi, and they got straight memed on, to put it lightly. I'm gonna tell you 6 items that a hero had, and I want you to tell me which hero you think it is.
Okay.
All right, we got Stout Shield, Soul Ring. This is on the winning team, by the way. Stout Shield, Soul Ring, Mechanism, Arcane Boots. Pretty vanilla, right? Crystallis. No, I did not stutter. He had 2 Crystallises.
Darkseer?
Oh my god, we got it! You're a professional player, Breaky. You didn't tell me about this. You didn't tell me that you were on the ground floor of meta-defining items. That is exactly General's Darkseer, the one and only.
Really? What the hell? Surprised I'm
Yeah. And Pycat ended the game with 2 Desolators. So, not the best showing from Alliance, but hopefully they've shaken that loss off, because they can... if you repeat that performance, you will not have an easy time living that down.
Huh, that's something right there. Well, we got this draft underway, so let's take a look and see what we have this time around. We got Clockwork, Dazzle, and Ogre now coming out for Alliance. Still a favorite of theirs. Crystal Maiden, LC, and Tusk on the other side. That's a lot of roam, man. A lot of catch potential here on the side of Vega Squadron. So, pretty active start here on either side. The draft.
Very active. Crystal Maiden is going to be instrumental in allowing this Tusk to do whatever he wants throughout the early game. It's honestly seeming like the mid lane matchup will be the most interesting, because there is a lot of attention that both teams can put on it. You can let the Dazzle, the Clockwork, or the Ogre roam around for Alliance's mid, and on Vega Squadron, same thing. You can let the Crystal Maiden and Tusk pop in for quick kill attempts. But I mean, that's true for really any lane, but seeing as how Vega nor Alliance have chosen their mid, they probably want to make sure that they have a pretty... Vega Squadron actually opting to ban out a few mids, banning out the Shadow Fiend and the TA in the second phase, whereas Alliance were like, okay, well, you're probably going to mirror our roaming strategies, which is why we're going to ban out an Earth Spirit. I don't think an Earth Spirit really comfortably fits into the Vega Squadron draft, but I suppose that, it's a threat regardless.
Well, Vega Squadron, 4th pick coming up. Yeah, Earth Spirit, yeah, that would have been obviously in place of the Tusk here, but they decided to go with the Tusk route instead, being that it's banned. And now thinking about who they want for the 1 and the 2. You figure Alliance also needs that same, kind of matching what they're doing. Did I hear a pause?
Yes, I heard a pause, and yet the clock is still ticking.
Yeah. The heck? Interesting.
I don't know if the clock... I mean, it says in the chat the game has been resumed.
Yeah.
So it was paused at one point, but I don't know if the clock paused or not, but whatever the case,
wow.
Vega Squadron are definitely mulling this last pick over, or second to last pick, and they go with a Lycan. A hero that can, we saw the survivability options of Feral Impulse and Howl, as opposed to putting points in Summon Wolves in the early phases of the game, so that allowed the Lycan to sustain against a Darkseer in the previous series. In this game, it'll help against Ogre's Harass, I imagine, as they're going to be putting a lot of attention whacking this Lycan, and same thing with Clockwork as well, which So how does Alliance typically like to play their Clockwork? Is it the same kind of supportish kind of thing?
I believe Jonas Fan is very likely going to end up with it here.
Okay. Yeah, so... Lycan, I mean, Vega Squadron definitely have pretty solid push. It's not a lot of burst damage to follow up with the Tusk Legion Commander kind of combination, but, Lycan can always shapeshift in and follow up for a dual victory, or, just do his own thing. The Necrobook Lycan has kind of fallen off in favor and preference to this whole Armlet Mask of Madness Solar Crest build, but it's, if it's dependent on how the game goes, how Vega Squadron want to play this Lycan.
Ooh, the Loda Troll.
Radiant team
gonna be coming out right here for Alliance. Something that they run often, I feel like, and again, Ogre Magi there to help even Bloodlust buff on up. So gonna be interesting to see a final pick here for Alliance, and who's Limp gonna play actually. Got Vega Squadron.
Yeah, Alliance really like this troll.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look how it's been doing actually, because they've run it a lot. And one of the last remaining teams to continually put so much emphasis on the hero.
I feel like Loda is like this and Juggernaut maybe some Lifestealer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, they've only played Troll 3 times apparently in the past 3 months, but
No.
1 out of 3 victories. Yeah, no, that sounds unlikely to
It
me as
has
well.
to be
But
more than that, yeah.
there must have been some non-ticketed games going on or something like that, because it doesn't seem like 3 times. It seems like 30 times or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I swear every single time I tune into a stream, like you said, it's either Juggernaut or Troll for Loda.
Well, they're going to run it here, and we see the ban on Lena coming out from Vega Squadron. Could have been a potential middle hero. And the one that comes to mind that Limp has been playing a little bit lately, I feel like, is a Puck.
10
even.
seconds remaining.
Wonder if that's going to fit the theme of the lineup here. Maybe instead some. No, I was going to say Shadow Fiend, but
5
never mind. He's already
seconds
banned.
remaining.
So.
Yeah, Puck wouldn't be too bad. Like, typically whenever I see the Troll, I think in my mind, like, oh, okay, you want to get a mid that can also right-click. But for some reason, Alliance, like, don't really care about that potential. It's a bonus if they can get someone that can benefit from Battle Trance, but very rarely are they like, we have to get a right-clicking mid, otherwise this Troll's going to be worthless. They're confident in the Troll just for being able to buff himself up, and they'll get, like, a winnable lane for their mid lane, ideally, which, yeah, Puck wouldn't be bad. Especially because it'll be good at dealing with Lycan. You can Dream Coil him and lock him down temporarily, and also you can silence the Tusk to make sure no banishes take place. Only thing is that Legion Commander might be a bit of an issue for a Puck.
Bound to have some downsides, but yeah, I think overall the strengths could definitely be warranted here. So Storm Spirit is going to be their final ban, but now they have about 30 seconds or so before having to choose who they ultimately go with here.
They play a handful of Alchemist.
Yep.
Which wouldn't be bad for Alliance, I'm in.
10 seconds remaining.
It'll be pretty sustained in mid lane. You don't really know what Vega Squadron gets the last pick, and so they're going to be able to choose what to put up against mid, but they're going to go for an OD instead, who is a hero that absolutely can benefit from battle trances, and also a pretty safe pick for mid. No matter what Vega Squadron pick, OD was probably going to be pretty safe.
So now Vega has that thought themselves. Of who do they go for? Again, somebody that ideally can also benefit from the Lycan Howls we've stressed. Would be nice to take advantage of.
5 seconds remaining.
Maybe a sniper, actually.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
Reserve
Good matchup there, and definitely benefits.
Only thing is that Clockwork can be a little bit of an issue, but these days, like, snipers are pretty comfortable going Pike first item. Ideally, you go for the Maelstrom earlier, but he will be pretty survivable between the Tusk, Snowball, and, like you said, the Lycan Howl.
Well, we are down to 15 seconds, so having to choose pretty quickly right here in the near future. And it's going to be a Quap, so more aggressive play style instead. I still can benefit from the Lycan. Right clicks are doing damage.
Yeah, especially these days we've been seeing Quap definitely favor a more right-click oriented build as they go into the later game. It's not like that old Aghanim Scepter, Lincoln's Orchid kind of stuff, which you'll still see the Orchid most likely turning into a Bloodthorn, but we've seen a lot of Quaps go for like Mjolnir to benefit from that level 25 spell lifesteal talent and other right-click oriented items, and they're going to need it because they have pretty good push between the Lycan and the Legion Commander, but you also need to be able to pick off these like somewhat tanky supports of Alliance. The Clockwork and the Ogre Magi are kind of difficult, and Queen of Pain really likes feeding off of supports, which Dazzle is kind of fair game, but you still have to be concerned about the Shallow Graves, so I'm pretty sure that Vega Squadron are going to be trying to get G progressing well into the late game, whereas Tusk and Legion Commander are going to be more mid-game oriented.
Well, here we go. Game 1 of this best-of-3 series now. Going to be taking off here. Vega Squadron versus Alliance. Again, the winner advancing on to the playoffs. Going to join Empire, actually, as the only team currently. The loser still has a chance, but ultimately only 4 of the 8 teams originally are moving on. So, going to find out who one of those teams are right now once again. In the series at least. So, loading in. Going to see the Loda Troll. With that fervor of his. And yeah, it really just feels very Alliance-like. Like this is their style of play. You know, build around Loda, let him get the overall farm and, you know, kind of give him a very defensive and just very support-heavy cast. Like I said, the Ogre. Not a lot of teams run Ogre nowadays anymore, but
No.
Alliance definitely is one of them. That's still high priority.
Exactly. If you had showed me like just the Troll and the Ogre, I'd have been like, is this an Alliance draft or something like that? But I mean, they go back to it time and time again for a reason. This game, like, there are no real faults with the draft. Like, I'd say both drafts are relatively even. It's just going to come down to how well the early game goes, because both teams are kind of snowball dependent. If Jonas and Fan kind of falls behind in this clockwork, then he's just going to be food for the Legion Commander and the Queen of Pain. But if he's able to get a lot of work done, then this Lycan is going to be under constant stress.
See down here, Jonas and Fan getting pretty aggressive in the jungle. Does have that wind lace. Benefit from the move speed here. Gonna be found though. Root comes out. That's Cogs. It's gonna take some nice harassment. Oh, he brings Tuscan with him. That's not what the plan was, and now he's gonna be blocked out. Uh-oh. Jonas and Fan, he's dead. Well played, but yeah, he kind of did that to himself. It almost feels like.
Yeah. I mean, you ideally not want to have to get the Tusk into the Cogs, but Windlace does not out-move speed the boots that Tusk has, so Sioma was hugging the Clockwork. Hadn't actually skilled up the Ice Shards until he was actually inside the Cogs, and then as soon as Clockwork broke the Cogs, Lycan howled, and Shards came out, ripped Clockwork. That's kind of what I was saying. I hope this Clockwork doesn't fall behind, which, you know, it's just first blood. Oh, nice Shards. Limp isn't able to block.
That is well played. Yeah, and again, it's kind of small things like that I always appreciate. It's just like, yeah, who does that, right? Like,
Who does that?
blocks with Ice Shards to prevent from him blocking his mid, who Ogre was attempting to, but he kind of screwed it up a little bit. And you see the positioning now that G has.
Oh yeah, this is exceptional, especially when you're having to go up against this Ogre Magi. Like, Ogre cannot easily harass Quap now, so it may seem insignificant, like, in the grand scheme of things, but like, these little plays make a big difference whenever you're, you know, fighting for just creeps here and there.
I also like the reaction from Alliance with the Courier. They actually have the long path here, go to the middle lane, and now he's being sent back. But yeah, Simo was definitely still hanging around waiting the Courier snipe on top, and that would have just been beautiful. He was able to do that too, but Alliance picked up on that at least. And they avoid that from happening. But here's that pressure from Hanskin. Again, that Orbit Venom, but now he's going to take a lot of pressure himself. The Shadow Strike's applied, and he has to be the one falling back now. Good pressure from G coming out. Middle lane, though. Crystal and Tusk are nearby. Crystal's farming in the jungle nearby, but they're not careful, especially this Ogre. He could be dead, actually.
Yeah, Sioma wants to find Shards on Hanskin.
Got it.
Gets it.
Yeah. Creep block as well, somewhat. He's going to go for the TP. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Oof.
Unfortunately, G had to level up Blink. He was going aggressive on the OD, trying to force out that Astral, and it was successful, but since Quap was so low, needed to blink back to safety, so no Scream of Pain quite yet. But Ogre went all the way back to base, did not want to have to go spend a Shrine. Maybe would have died to a Shadow Strike if he did, so gets a little bit of free space on the mid as a result.
Top lane, Afterlife. Here on the LC, putting some pressure into EGM, creating some auto attacks.
This'll come in handy.
Unafraid to do so, it seems like, as Seema just continues to be a nuisance here. He steals the bounty rune on their side. Hanskin was running over, but only to find that it's not there. So, good rune control by Vega Squadron, and clearly Tusk, he's comfortable and knows what he's doing. And he's looking to maybe set up another play in the middle lane in the near future. Now, he is still level 1, so again, that's an ultimate concern, is you roam so much that you're so behind in levels.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Slardar. It's like that level 2 is a big power spike. Sprint into Crush, or in this situation, Snowball into Shards. It makes your kill threat significantly higher, but Ogre Magi is still babysitting this mid lane pretty heavily, which he doesn't really have very much better to do. Clockwork is fine in this offlane against the Lycan. Meanwhile, Troll, as we can see, is about to do a lot of damage to Afterlife, but EGM does not have Poison Touch taken.
He backs off, still Shrine? Yeah, he's got the Shrine to use. He'll heal up from that, so he's going to be just fine. G, meanwhile, obviously doing is 13-3 against Odie's 10-2, so Quap is actually having the better time despite Ogre's harassment here. And obviously, Quap's out to help.
Actually going 2 points in Shadow Strike, 1 point in Blink. Has not gotten a single point in Scream of Pain, which, I mean, 2 points in Shadow Strike isn't rare, but if you take Blink early on, you kind of feel like you need a little bit of help dealing damage or less hitting. Smoke, bot lane. Jonas fan wants to get to a shrine, but not going to happen.
Cuts him off, and that should secure the kill. Tusk credit for it. Final auto attack. The Orb Bennett helping to slow, and yeah, again, the timing was perfect. Right as he's literally going to use it, they cut him off with the Ice Shard. Good rotation in smoking. So Vega Squadron looking very clean here early on, as far as their play goes across the board.
Now another kill on top lane. Afterlife, Handskin might be ready to return the favor. Yeah. Bash.
That'll be nice. Assistance, I don't think it was necessary, but just in case. It's that bash proc, so well played there from Alliance. And speaking of rotations, Ogre does his part. And he sets up a kill there, so yeah, he got the Fire Blast at level 2. That, that in itself, you'll see that Bloodlust being leveled up earlier on, passing up Fire Blast even, but perhaps because of how active this game has been and he wants to, roam, then Fire Blast is useful, of course.
Yeah, especially that little bit of crowd control. It's not much, but against a Queen of Pain Blink, that little bit is all that can make a difference in some situations. And G's taking quite a bit of damage, and Hanskin picked up an Invis Drone. It goes for it.
Ignites up, he's dead.
Yep.
Still imprisonment, and boom shakalaka.
That hardly.
See ya, G. Well,
Lycan went for the Howl, but it wasn't enough, and now they're turning it around Limp. That is so much damage with this Howl at nighttime. Holy moly.
Those right clicks, and wears off at the last second, but yeah, I got the tail end of that. Just simply putting the auto attacks into him, though.
Yeah, geez, that was basically like both heroes had 30 more damage and finished off that OD. 2 supports being able to get that kill, and that's a lot of experience for the Tusk, who was struggling initially. He's now level 3 on the Tusk, and same thing with Crystal Maiden hitting level 4. She's been jungling a little bit, so a little bit ahead of the Tusk, and has that 2 points in Arcane Aura, and that just allows Quap to be even more aggressive, which Quap has now taken 2 points in Scream of Pain. And she can spam it. She's been spamming the Shadow Strike against Limp every single time Astral is down, and yeah, Limp is falling behind a little bit in this laning phase, but it's nothing too substantial.
Put himself under right there, as he attempted to avoid the Shadow Strike, but got applied nonetheless. But yeah, continuing to go back and forth at it. Top lane again, Afterlife. Maybe seeing a bit of the Afterlife right here. Nope, he's turning around actually and going to run down Ogre Magi. Lets him know that he's nearby. He has overwhelming odds. Maybe he's going to try to snipe out some jungle kills right here, but not going to happen either. Going for the 6-minute rune instead. What's going on over here? Yeah, bottom shrine jumps the fan. Gets the help from Dazzle, and it is enough to help keep him alive. Pops the shrine. Want this kill.
Oh my, what a
path with the cogs coming out to block them as well. And he should be able to make it out of here, yeah. Jeez. Stuck
now
in
top lane, Afterlife, getting whacked.
Taken out by Troll in the end. Loda runs him down. Good job by Ogre staying nearby and eventually catch the LC. We saw running up there earlier. So both teams tied at 3 hero kills apiece, and pretty even back and forth game now we have early on. Phase boots finished.
Yeah, the game will start transitioning once Quap decides to move, if she decides to move. OD is more of a counter initiator, so unless if Limp manages to find like a haste rune or something, he's going to be chilling in the mid lane, but Quap can start some stuff, and there are a lot of great targets to go on. Loda is probably target number 1. Oh, hookshot mid lane. Jonas fan is 6 already, goddamn.
Yeah, he's paying off right here, and he gets the kill on a Quap as a result. More so sets it up for Limp, but Dazzle also being blocked with Jonas Fan right here, but Seema by himself for the most part. Has to back out as well. Silent. Trying to get in there in time, but not enough, and Limp, EGM, they're all going to stay alive. Heals coming out. Yeah, that level 6 Clockwork clearly paying off pretty well here early on.
Yeah, here I was saying that Queen of Pain was going to start going around to other parts of the map, but turns out that Clockwork was 1 step ahead of the game. I can't believe that he managed to hit 6 that fast, because Lycan is, like, he's got Bazzy Ring, Quelling Blade. He can very easily just perpetually deny the waves. Meanwhile, top lane.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's going to commit to the Sonic Wave right there for the kill. Press the attack, comes out. Now Loda has to be careful because that nice block right there, but Seema with the snowball. Not going to commit further. Tower being there. EGM also nearby on Dazzle, so yeah, he's going to be fine. But yeah, there's 4 up here, actually. In fact, they do want that troll. They're going to go for it. Yeah, they got Grave still good to go. It's level 2, actually, now for EGM.
Middle tower is under attack.
And Limp's even going to pour it in, so Vega Squadron overstaying their welcome a little bit here. And eventually going to have to fall back from it.
Yeah, Loda's going to have to go back to base anyway, so it's okay that OD TP'd up. He's just going to take over this lane temporarily. and Loda may transition mid afterwards. They're not really in a position to push quite yet on Alliance, especially because if they do start committing to a push, then, well, actually, the real you does not have any points in Sun and Wolf. So this just seems to be the go-to thing these days, at least for the past 2 series that we've seen. Like, yet again, Sun and Wolves has pretty good magic resistance, and so you don't really need to be too concerned about them dying to flares. Meanwhile, Hookshot, Clockwork.
Jonas Pan trying to get out of this, using the hookshot defensively, if anything, but he is going to die in the end. They ultimately get enough damage. I mean, he stayed alive for a while with that battery assault, trying to maybe set up a turn, but wasn't going to happen. No support nearby enough, so. But yeah, Lycan, this, like I was saying too, it even before last year's, I saw one recently that, yeah, I think this is becoming more of that traditional style of the Howl.
Yeah, it's still surprising to me, because then the other justification is that sometimes you have mana issues and you can't spam your Summon Wolves, but he's got Bazzi Ring and he's got CM Aura, so you can go ham on the Wolves, but yeah, he's playing it safe. You know, if you don't need the Wolves to push, and you're not planning on pushing, then might as well just go for the the Mask of Madness and go more you damage oriented as opposed to summon damage oriented. But now smoke pops, Hookshot is down. They have a feeling, but they don't really know where Lycan is.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, where is he? They're just on the other side of the trees, though. So Lycan will be able to get on out of there. In fact, gonna go for that bounty rune at 10 minutes. Or
I'm surprised that they went for that smoke with Hookshot being on cooldown, and like Ogre Magi is not really the best at starting ganks. Fire Blast has really low range, and Ignite has good range, and especially if you have Bloodlust moveseed, but you really need the hard initiation of Hookshot into Cogs, so that smoke does not net them anything.
In the end, falling back. And Hookshot is back up now, of course. Level 7 Clockwork here, means that battery assault is maxed out. He's going to check the bounty room, but that definitely was picked up. And well, they even have vision in that area, so I'm sure even saw at least part of that happening. LC top lane, he's going to get some support coming in. So Loda, EGM, they're going to need to be careful here. Ping's coming out, as if they possibly want to initiate soon. Duel is ready to go for LC, but now Ogre's also here. Has a level 3 Bloodlust now.
Afterlife is very poor. I don't know if he can win a duel. Okay, now he can.
Oh, he definitely can now. If he can get it off in time, he can. The Fire Blast, the snowball on top of it. That looked awkward. And actually, Troll's going to stay alive long enough to not give him the victory, at least. But they do get the kill. Meanwhile, G going down over near the middle lane. Jonas fan credit for it, but yeah, they were Dazzle especially being elsewhere. So trade 1 for 1 there, at least.
Yeah, it's a pretty even trade. Both teams have supports benefiting from a core going down. Queen of Pain Clockwork did have to spend the hookshot, whereas, Vega Squadron spent the duel. I don't really, the idea of the snowball was you get to cancel, I guess, the Fire Blast because Ogre was getting ready for it, and meanwhile Frostbite on Clockwork. Loda wants blood.
30-second hookshot, though, so they don't really have a gap closer, and yeah, they're going to run away. So easy getaway for them. Yeah, somewhat of an even trade as you're getting at there in OD now. The Hannah Midas has been queued up. Looking to be finished here in the near future. I'm always kind of interested in a hero that we don't see all the time, and especially as of late, Quap, what she decides to go for earlier on. She feels like a hero that definitely benefits from something like an Orchid even earlier on in the game, but several different directions to go.
Yeah, she's a very flexible hero. This game, she doesn't need to go for anything she doesn't really need any defensive items, and so she can go. Veil is probably the option that she's going to go for. She has 2 Null Talismans, and the armor will be pretty valuable against Troll. Meanwhile, Jonas and Fan spots out G, but Tusk is here. Shards blocks Jonas and Fan.
I love that animation. The penguin going
Snowball.
through. Snowball connects, and now Jonas a fan. There's no chance, especially with the Sonic Wave committed. He will get caught, so yeah, he just gets caught being a little too curious. Seen that happen now a couple of times for a Jonas a fan on that Clockwork. Running into
Top
a trap.
lane.
Yeah, this is the
wrapping around.
two supports coming at it.
But let's do it. Weave is up. Can't purge that off. No poison touch, though.
He has to. Afterlife expects, I'm sure, like somebody else being here, but no, it's still just the 2. And he's just going to TP.
Oh my gosh, so much extra HP and damage from that Howl. Lycan has been spamming it, and he's been farming his pants off with it. Has that Mask of Madness completed, and he's Mask of Midas, now that would be an item. And he's going to be going for that armlet next. So once the real you completes these 2 items, I imagine that they're going to start wanting to actually aggressively pursue some dual victories. They've been casually going for it if an opportunity presents itself, but that's because they've been making space for Lycan. Now they're smoking up Silent, Sioma, and the real you. They have Shapeshift, and they will have maxed out Howl, and it's going to be nighttime for another 2 minutes, so they could definitely find a kill.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if they see this OD with this ward.
Much enhanced damage right here. There goes the Howl pop. The Ice tries to block him in. Gets to put himself under. Yeah, delay if anything. He is trapped right here. Will they commit to this? Dazzle nearby has a shallow grave. Can he get it off in time? He couldn't even get it off in time. He just died so quickly. He went for Weave first. Instead, he gets killed. Now EGM uses the shallow grave on himself. A nice freezing field placement from Silent as well during all this. And Jonas a fan definitely feeling the burn. He's going to stay alive barely as Fire Blast finally cancels at the tail end of it. Meanwhile, over here, hear the beating of Troll Warlord going on. Takes out G, actually. Jonas fan eventually killed off, though. So right now, numbers advantage in favor of Vega. 3 for 1. It's going to end that way.
Dire's top tower is
Definite advantage to Vega Squadron by a long shot. It's difficult as a Dazzle. I don't fault EGM because that Howl damage, and it's also kind of like when your core is getting punched up into the air, it's kind of difficult to target him with the shallow grave. But you can actually cast it on portraits. It's a teachable moment, I suppose. But you can just click it on the OD portrait and you'll land it. You don't need to click on the model in the game. But yeah, that crit from Sioma also gets buffed up from all of that bonus damage, and so definitely unsuspecting.
I'm sure he was planning to follow up that Weave again right after, but he just died in the midst of him casting Weave, and then, as you said, with that Howl burst damage being nighttime, level 4, it's just so intense with 2 or 3 different heroes beating on him. So he dropped quickly. Now, speaking of dropping quickly, Alliance is going to try to make Roshan drop quickly, and with the Troll Warlord, Bloodlust, that's definitely possible. And it's going to happen. I mean, Vega, they're kind of nearby, though, but they don't know for sure it's happening.
Oh, Sioma the God.
There we go. He's going to scout it out. Can they get here in time? It's a question. Snowball in at the last second. And there goes a kill in favor of the Dire. Loda picks it up as well. And a big fight to commence now. Seema is going to get picked off. Freezing field again going off. Very good position from Silent. Off to the side. Loda is going to stay alive, though, throughout it. So support for support. Eye for an eye right there. G going in very aggressively. Loda, though, he's standing on the uphill as Lycan runs in with that ulti form. Gets a kill on OD, doing so much damage. Press the attack applied as well. But Loda with that bash procs gets the kill onto the Lycan. And now Jonas has to run. Whirling Axe is going off. Some mischance kicking in. Loda, though, he may end up falling right here. But again, he has the Aegis. There's a duel being activated. Got stunned initially from the bash proc, but he will get the winner at the end of it all. Ogre ports back in, though. Resurrection from Troll coming back up right now. 5 more seconds for Dazzle, and they want to pursue this. Silent, he actually has a courier right here. He needs to be careful with that, but Crystal Maiden should be run down. Rolling axes, maybe?
She's dead.
Yeah,
she's cashed out.
All right, got the drums at least, but whew, what a long fight there. And I mean, I guess the Aegis was used, but Loda stays alive essentially throughout it.
Yeah, but the rest of his team completely got wiped. At least you were able to finish off the Lycan, but Queen of Pain survived and Legion Commander got a successful duel off, and so that was a really clutch timing by Sioma to go into that pit, and they successfully drive Alliance back and basically nullify whatever advantage they got from that early Roshan. Not only that, but I mean, the Aegis is gone, so if Alliance had waited a little bit longer, maybe they could have taken it later and gotten a free Aegis, or maybe Vega Squadron would have taken it with themselves, because their team is very good at taking Roche early on, so it was, I can understand the logic behind Alliance going for it, but it didn't go as well as they were hoping.
That was close for Limp right there, but G trying to open on with the Invis. I mean, he does open on him, but he just imprisons the Quap right there, and that was a smart move. I was wondering if he's going to imprison himself, but what was that about? He thought about going in.
But Frostbite cancel the TP?
Yep. I saw him port again. He does not. Clockwork actually winning up there, but back over to Loda now as the Silent gets off another freezing field during this duel, but in comes the Weave, the heal. The Grave is still here if needed, but it's not needed apparently. They get the kill on Crystal Maiden, and they'll take it. LC is like, all right, you want to fight? Let's go at it, bro. He takes out 2 in return. They did lose Clockwork. They are going to lose Ogre Magi as well, as the real you gets put under by OD, but he pops out and continues to push. But yeah, so that was kind of one of those, I mean, stopping it was the right move, but ends up costing them both their lives there.
is
Yeah,
under attack.
thankfully the dual victory does not go the way of Troll Warlord, so
True.
not as bad as it could have gone. But Alliance are pretty pleased with how that one worked out. Kill off the Legion Commander, and you didn't lose your mid tier 2 either, and you didn't lose any cores in that mid fight, just the Clockwork and the Ogre Magi. So they defend without having their carry, and proves that OD is able to hold his own with just this Midas right now, because Astral is just so good at kiting around a Lycan, at least pre-BKB.
Yeah.
Which now the real you is going for a BKB, and he gets shoved onto a cliff. Oh,
See this here
he has TP though.
in 3
But
seconds.
Jonas and Venom is waiting. He has hookshot, and it's like the same cooldown. The real you.
Oh.
Oh,
You're right.
He's
Support's
stuck.
coming in. This is so interesting to see how this is going to play out. Pop some wolves.
oh, that's
Snowball.
brilliant.
Great teamwork. Yeah, I didn't think about that off the bat, but that's why these guys are pro players. Nice heads up there, and they do get him out. So back to just simply static farming now. Again, Quap has the Oblivion Staff finish, so that Orchid is now coming. You mentioned the Veil, he went first.
Radiant's
What the
courier
hell?
has been killed.
What was that about? That was down here?
I almost feel like the courier was scouting, but you can't scout out Loda. He literally one-shotted the courier instantly, so I don't think it would be shopping in the side shop either, because well, I don't know, but whatever the case, that courier was free, and well, at least G has his Oblivion Staff.
Yeah, I was going to say at least nothing on it, but yeah, it's going to be down now. 2.5 minutes.
Now
Howl
silent.
just used
They
right
can
there.
very easily kill him.
That should be a free kill. He's had
Don't need
huge
to use the
freezing
hookshot.
fields. Not going to cast one here, though. Great find there using that smoke ink, and they're going to push bottom lane now with this. All 5 coming. Of course, they do it quickly with the troll presence. Battle Trance on cooldown, but only 15 seconds.
Dire's top
Vega's
tower
going to return the favor, though. They're pushing out top, and it's nighttime also, which means that in 10 seconds, Howl's going to give this double damage Quap even more damage, so they're racing it, and probably are going to take him down at roughly the same times. But, I mean, like, both teams basically break even for the most part. They spend the glyph on Radiant, and, okay, both teams spend the glyph. Okay.
Dire's top tower is
Race
under
continues.
attack.
I was going to say, if you're Alliance, though, I feel like you do have the better siege with the troll, so...
Well, you have
the
this
Howl, though.
Lycan,
Yeah.
yeah, and the Howl, and this double damage Quap, which is still ticking. So they're still racing. Now you have the advantage.
Yeah, Alliance
But
going in.
Sioma, with these
Top
clutch
lane.
ice shards, and now you're losing top tier 3 damage.
Yep. They got to be careful, too, with TPing, because last thing you want to do is get stopped, obviously. Quap, by the way. Multicast Fire Blast onto him, but he'll be fine. Although Jonas a fan. Oh, he's got a hook shot. He's not going to be able to get the Lycan, though, and a little tougher for Quap. Get the blink, use after. There we go. Can he get the hook shot? Yes, he can.
Nice.
Well placed, but is the follow-up going to be here in time? Probably not. Another blink, and she's good.
No.
A good
Dire's
attempt.
middle tower is under attack.
Not to be, and that's how it'll end. You see the tier 3 damage. It definitely favors Vega Squadron side right here.
Yeah, and I feel like that may come back to bite them. Roche is still going to be down for quite a while, but we see that Vega Squadron are pretty good at splitting Alliance apart, and since there's still a number of objectives that need to be taken on this bot lane, Lycan can pretty much just like chill in the dire jungle if he gets good vision up there. And if he sees an opportunity, if he sees Alliance kind of committing to a defense on one of their bot lane towers, he can pretty easily take this tier 3 uncontested. So we see G and Sioma moving up top. Ideally, they... Oh, silent.
Yeah, he's found.
Is dead.
Nice Shadow Blade pickup of Loda. Crystal Maiden, though, man. He's living.
Yeah, but only for now.
There you go. Eventually hunt him down. Good kill there. Dazzle almost has that Solar Crest finish, by the way. Obviously a good item to have there.
Oh wow, so okay, it's the old dual Solar Crest, seeing as how Clockwork already has one completed.
Oh, true.
I mean, we've been seeing a lot of words about how crazy Solar Crest is and stuff like that. And this game, there is a big benefit. You have the Troll Warlord who will definitely be able to take advantage of Solar Crested enemies. And the fact that Lycan, if he's missing a lot of attacks, is also significantly hampered because he doesn't have the best agi gains. It's only 1.0 per level, and so he doesn't attack very fast. That's why Mask of Madness Armlet took off so much. And so each of his attacks need to matter, especially if you're during Shapeshift and you're hoping to crit. So if he's missing a lot, cuts down a lot of his damage potential. But BKB will mitigate it, and now the real you has completed the BKB. It just needs to come out on the courier.
Is under attack.
Oh, yeah, here he has. Finished. Jeez. There you go. It's going to be delivered here. So that's kind of like the holy trio of items, as we've seen late. The mom into the armlet, into the BKB now. So he's online, good to go. It's going to be a very difficult target to stop here for your Alliance. Obviously, they still have the bashing from Troll Warlord they can rely on, but that's definitely not something you want to rely on. Although the cogs are also an issue, to be fair, for Lycan.
Oh, they scan out G.
You know he's here. He's going
There's
to be
the bashes.
down, but
No bashes.
no bash and
Radiant's
easy
middle
blink.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, Clockwork's too far.
G's sweating right now.
Yeah, they still need maybe a random hook shot. God, that'd be something.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Not gonna go for it.
Boom, there it
And
goes.
obviously he's TP'd out, so just wasting more time as Alliance, and that's beneficial for Vega Squadron. They'll take it.
Ooh, and it's a fast Roche spawn. Tusk has the sigil. Now they're just gonna go in. They're not even gonna try to get map control. This is pretty ballsy, but they have the superior team fight on Vega Squadron, and Alliance are just not aware of this at all. Despite all the vision that they have, it's all inside of their own base for the most part. And they have one aggressive warden in the dire jungle, but that's really it. And they're gonna give up this Roche for free.
There we go. The Rocket just scouts Roshan as he's basically dead, and that means he just picked up right there by the Lycan. So looking to make a play with it. ASAP, that new BKB once again of Lycan, also to be had here. You have Silver Edge just finished by Troll Warlord, meanwhile.
Yeah, I mean, for as much credit as we're giving Lycan for getting bigger and bigger, Troll still has a pretty comfortable net worth advantage, despite having fewer towers downed. And so, Loda's keeping up. It's just, will he be able to deal damage? Because he doesn't have a BKB of his own, and there's a lot of things you need to be concerned about if you are Loda in a teamfight situation. You're going to get dueled, you're going to get frostbitten, you're going to get snowballed, you're going to get slowed by Sigil, and obviously Lycan inherently is very fast with that shapeshift, and so you're going to go for this tier 3 and might just blow shapeshift for it.
Is under attack.
No, they'll take it
Dire's
just like that.
The attack applied, but there's the fortification right away. You see bottom lane Troll. He does have a TP with Jonas fan up in 5 seconds. They're not going to commit to it again. They don't exactly see them retreating just yet, so they're playing it somewhat safe. And Loda will now fall back as he sees Lycan porting in. So that'll be the end of that. But yeah, as you said, man, 15,000 net worth now for the Troll Warlord. So he really is up there when it comes to that farm. And as mentioned, the Silver Edge. But the BKB lacking, well, he's getting that next now, as he has almost 1,000 gold
He will
saved up.
definitely need it. Ideally, with this Silver Edge, Loda was hoping to find picks, but Vega Squadron has been doing an excellent job of just sticking together for the most part. Even when they let the Lycan go, they only let him go whenever they've confirmed like where at least 3 or 4 of Alliance's heroes are. And so, I mean, normally you see a Blink Dagger Legion commander, you're like, well, she's going to be doing her own thing for the most part, but now they're sticking together, and now they're going to smoke up.
All 5 of them ready to go. Mentioned Troll especially. I've seen it several times. He's a great dual target here for the LC and the follow-up. So can they maybe get him? Well, they'll settle for Handskin. There's a duel. Going on to him. Support kind of nearby. Silence in the back lanes on the Clockwork, actually preventing it from assisting. However, Odie puts under the Ogre Magi right there. They do get the kill on it. Tusk. Down goes Ogre. As does the Clockwork, though.
Is under attack.
As Troll is kind of just sitting at his base, you know, from a distance. They don't want to go too deep there. Ends up being the 2-for-1 trade for Vega Squadron. And now they'll kind of retreat and take out the resources of Alliance, at least as much as they can. Ooh, Gem just spotted by Ogre, meanwhile.
And they put some aggressive wards down, and they're going to continue this. Well, ideally they continue the vision superiority, but you just said, yeah, Ogre Magi picks up a gem, and that's going to matter quite a bit, because ideally Vega Squadron are looking for a pick at nighttime when they are doing ridiculous amounts of damage underneath Howl. And once they do that, then they can very easily transition into a high ground push. But during daytime, it's a little bit tricky. And so they place these aggressive wards in hopes that they're kind of investing in the next 4 minutes, as it will be night in about 30 seconds. But they're going to continue the pressure. We'll see if Ogre can start dewarding or if he's just going to be stuck in his base. But like, Loda's doing a good job. He's permanently keeping this bot lane pushed. And Vega Squadron hasn't really cared to do anything about it. In fact, they're just going to go. They know that Glyph is down. They take the top tier 3.
Easy kill for them in the end, so now the shrines are exposed. However, Lycan, he's been slowing a little bit, but yeah, they were not going to commit any further. Again, he has a shapeshift, has BKB. Would have been way too risky, so he'll get away. But yeah, Troll would definitely like to have that BKB finished himself before Alliance really takes a fight here, I'm sure, is what it keeps going back to. And there's the BKB now finished on Quap, so that's proven to be a very popular item. Obviously, OD's also getting one himself, and OD's definitely recovered quite a bit. Limp here, he's still behind the cores of Lycan and Quap on the other side, but upwards of 11.6k net worth, closing the gap at least. So good news for Alliance there, but they continue to find themselves in a having to play pretty defensive in their base here.
Yeah, hell, even the supports of Vega Squadron are getting farmed. Crystal Maiden has managed to complete a 4th staff. And, I mean, you see how many wards are on the map right now. This is not a selfish Crystal Maiden. This has been a Crystal Maiden. It's been a team player, and yet still manages to complete such an expensive item and such a utility item. This clockwork initiation of the hookshot is going to lose a lot of efficacy, as now Loda wants to find Lycan.
Solar Crest applied, but they just back off immediately. I don't know what gave up the cue to back off, but something did. They just run away. Here comes the shapeshift, though. He has a BKB. He's just going to shallow grave himself, maybe deep. No way.
Punch him.
Okay. That would have been something. Wow, that's a dead shrine, meanwhile. They kill as well, so...
Yeah, they blow shapeshift for that. I guess they'll go for this bot tier 2. I mean, they still have plenty of time left on night. They have another 2 minutes, so they'll have more shapeshifts for it. But, I mean, if I'm Vega Squadron, really, you can just kind of siege underneath BKB. Aegis is going to time out on the real you. And so it frees up a slot for him to complete this AC. And then maybe after that, then they can just go for high ground. But like underneath Shapeshift and Summon Wolves and BKB, there's very little that Alliance can do to stop Lycan from just munching on their towers.
Yeah, the Shapeshift only being a 60-second cooldown now at level 3 of it means he can use that definitely a little more actively, as we kind of saw right there, to help take out the Shrine even in a possible fight breaking out. But yeah, it's already back up. As mentioned, nighttime
and
still
he's
another
gonna
2 minutes.
I'm actually curious what the real you will go for his level 20 talent, because both of them are great this game. We are seeing how effective Howl is, and obviously the Shapeshift cooldown as well. And the evasion is going to be pretty important, because right now Troll doesn't... Oh, okay, actually Troll Loda does have an MKB queued up, but OD's not going to have an MKB anytime soon, so at least one of the cores is going to be missing quite a bit if he does go for evasion, but both talents are still pretty important, and just the fact that Lycan has hit level 20 shows how far ahead Vega is as now. Smoke.
Yeah, they're trying to make a play right here. Eye Shard's coming out. They will see
freaking
Dazzle. However, the jump over here on the side of Crystal Maiden. Ghost Scepter's not going to sit. No, I wasn't even Ghost Scepter. I was just simply trying to force staff away. He will get taken out. The return, though, takes out No, Dazzle survives for a little bit. Silenced out, but he will eventually get picked up. LC, meanwhile, dealing with a clockwork back here. He still has that duel. Doesn't want to use it just yet, though. Honskin goes down at Ogre, but Loda locking out Lycan with some bash procs. BKB's up now on Loda, and he's running after a couple. Tusk is going to go down. Gem has been dropped. And Quap, the bash proc comes out. Can he kill him after? Yes, he can. Double kill for Loda there, that is. And even killing off the Wolves on top of that. Lycan's made his way out. Shapeshift currently on cooldown. He does not want to fight anymore.
So what was Liege Commander doing during that fight? Because I was watching the Lycan
the whole time.
Oh, okay. So then very well played by Jonas and Fan, because they, like, Lycan, he can't man-fight Loda, and so you need the Legion Commander to basically, like, throw the duel onto Loda with Blade Mail, and then if the Legion Commander dies, that's okay. The main thing is that at least 5 seconds of Troll's time is spent attacking a Legion Commander and not chain bashing the Lycan, because as soon as they go toe-to-toe, which Lycan does take that cooldown reduction, so he's not going to have the evasion, then Lycan's just going to get perma-bashed, and so very well played by Jonas and Pam to keep Afterlife under control, and that probably won the fight for Alliance as a result.
Yeah, no, that was a huge fight for Alliance here in a game like this, where they've been down to net worth for really most of the game. In fact, the net worth chart, yeah, they've never actually had the lead. That's the beginning of this game. It's been very close at points, but as you can see, we've had dips and back up several times. But what was the highest lead so far for Vega, but now once again dipping in favor of Alliance. And that's even more beneficial because, again, Loda's always been up there. He still continues to be on top. But OD, the fact that he's really closed that gap now, and he's just about tied even with Quap as far as net worth, and Clockwork even has kind of jumped up a bit. Looking to finish his own 4 staff. We mentioned the gem he purchased earlier, and has that Solar Crest, one of 2 on the team to top it all off. So Troll, interesting. He went Demon Edge, and now he's got a Butterfly queued up.
I think I'm surprised that Loda committed to the Demon Edge, because ideally you just wait to see what Lycan's talent is going to be. If he goes for the evasion talent, then yeah, go purchase the Demon Edge. But if not, then go for something like a Butterfly. And now that you've confirmed that Lycan's not going for that, then it's a pretty safe bet. But I don't really know. Like the problem is this Demon Edge is going to like it's occupying a slot, and it's a slot that he needs. But you know he's going to TP back to base. You don't need a slot when you're defending high ground. You don't need a TP. Well, oh man, he's going in. Holy
He is going in, going to jump like in hopes for a proc. He doesn't get the bash proc, that is. Meanwhile, off to the side again, a little bit of a distraction. Tusk, he's going to end up falling. Snowball, delaying the inevitable right here most likely, but BKB on top, and he will go down. You see Clockwork now force diving back to his team. It's like it's going deep for this. Only puts him under though. You see the scream in the background from Queen of Pain with that Sonic Wave, but the Sanity's Eclipse almost melt him in the end. Troll he gets tooled up, but that's a victory for Loda there. A 3 for 2, and it's going to be a 4 for 2 most likely. Crystal Maiden, no way he's porting out in time. Quap at least made it out, man, but that Sanity's Eclipse, as soon as the hammer came down, boy, did she feel it.
That was a great idea to go for that. Normally you're like, okay, we should probably wait for our high ground. It's a much safer bet. But Alliance keeps throwing Vega Squadron off balance. Like, Legion is not getting the duels that she wants. She did it at the very end, and at that point, no one else on Alliance had anything better to do than just kill the Legion Commander. The Lycan was already dead. Crystal Maiden, like, you know, she's Crystal Maiden, and Queen of Pain had already exited the fight. And so Legion Commander was totally caught off balance with that initiation of Loda, and the subsequent follow-up by Alliance, and now they're gunning for their own high ground.
And some cancel cast fun right there, but now they go up in that Battle Trance and see you tier 3. Rax, you are next. Melee Rax, that's definitely going to follow. Tuscan just going to watch from a distance here. Nothing that he can do by himself, as currently Quap is trying to counter pressure the top lane, but now Quap's in trouble. She's actually very low on mana meanwhile. And yeah, they're going to try to catch her hook shot. Can he land it this time? He can land it. He can land it. You can do it, Jonas a fan. Nope, he's not going to go for it.
Yeah, there's no follow-up afterwards. It would have just stalled, which they may have needed. Is now bot lane.
Oh.
No JK.
That Walrus punch into his death right there. Again, another duel. It's what you want, but Loda's too strong, man. BKP was up as well. Gets another victory on the Troll. Oh, that's not good. Troll's got so much assisted damage now. Lycan almost got the kill onto him, but yeah, the Astral comes into play, so allowing him to limp away, as they will pick off Ogre Magi well. But speaking of limp, the hero himself, he is here, and he will get the kill on a Lycan, or assist even, with Loda. Loda not only staying alive, but goes back, and he's level 25 now. Minus 7-second whirling axis cooldown, and it just feels like it's all Alliance now, despite even still being down net worth at this point.
Oh, he goes for the read, misses it. Now he's in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Astral is up in the hook shot.
Look at Loda. I love the positioning by Loda, too. It's like just in case. Just in case he blinks forward.
And this is brilliant. Go for the tier 4. Hell yeah. Buyback on the Queen of Pain. You really want the Lycan buyback if you can get it. But Loda's a little bit too low. If he had BKB up, they may have stayed. Which he has it now in 7 seconds. So they'll keep going for high ground, maybe? Or Roche is up. Never mind.
Yeah. That and MKB just purchased by Loda. Double damage, unfortunately, bottom lane for Alliance, but that's not a big deal. Kill the Shrine and go to that Roshan as mentioned. Look to easily do that.
That is a massive shift in net worth, and hopefully they can preserve it. Lycan is still dead for another 15 seconds, and without Lycan, you can't really contest this Rochelle. Even if you did have Lycan, it's gone.
See ya. Yeah, LC, you got plus 10 damage. Troll, plus 36
Plus
damage.
36.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's been a very difficult LC game. Really for the whole game. I mean, even the laning phase was extra difficult for him, and he's just had a hell of a time trying to get the lockdown necessary. But obviously that's to the credit of Alliance. We mentioned Jonas Fan doing a good job initially in some fights, and Troll's just at a point where even with the Blade Mail duel, it just doesn't matter. He just dies so fast.
Yeah, Troll has like double the armor of the Legion Commander, and so really he's not taking too much damage from his own Blade Mail, and so I don't really know why Legion Commander actually went for this BKB afterwards. I mean, it helps against the OD's damage, but the OD is still dealing a lot of damage even without the Astral connecting, and if you really need to, you can just Astral the target that's being dueled, but at this point, you don't need to be defensive against duels anymore. You be aggressive in all situations.
You can tell, Vega Squadron, they almost want to like do some kind of backdoor here, but in Alliance, they are porting back as a result of this. So yeah, Quap going in, but she's going to get caught now. By the Empress.
Nice Cog's going to bounce her back.
Nope, but the BKB use will prevent that. The Ice Shards on the wrong side. Jonas Fan, I don't know if that was a mean to over the Ice Shards or if he was hoping to maybe hit the Quap, but either way, he's going to help run them down now. Okay, they need to guess where she's going to go, though. There's a nice stun initiative with the Cog. She blinks up here. Rocket Flare hits. Oh, semi-intercept hits, but it's not enough. And now, rolling axes, rocket anything? No, she's good.
Well played by G to go for the silence on the Ogre Magi. It's you don't really know 100% if Cogs was off cooldown, but there was still like 1 more second on Cogs after she exited the second Astral. But silencing up Hanskin made sure that he wouldn't get stunned and was able to get out and drags a lot of aggro. And now Loda going into the Lycan. Permabash.
This is a farmed Lycan. He just got outplayed. Well, more so out-hit.
Oh no, that was pure skill.
So
pure skill, I'll have you know.
By the god himself, Loda. Yeah, that was RNG.
Mere
somewhat,
mortals
but...
only wish they got that kind of... I mean, he didn't even actually get that much bash luck. He got the first bash, and then the rest of it was just MKB bashes. But Lycan didn't activate the BKB, which, I mean, if he did, he may have survived, and now he's going to have to buy back for this defense.
God, how fast he attacks.
Loda still has Aegis.
That's a shallow grave. He may end up dying right here, but he's at a point where he wants to die, clearly. Yeah,
Put the
Aegis.
BKB in.
There we go.
Now
Somewhat
he's
of a
ready
last
to
stand
rock.
for Vega Squadron. Almost feels like there's the buyback of Lycan, and that's Alliance retreat time. At least for now. Not going to commit to it. Instead, fine. Just falling back, Odie. The Shivas has that Chi still. The Scythe is now coming up here. At least next in line. Of course, going to prove to be a great assisting item as well. And perhaps another Roshan is what's on the menu here. So that's still a ways away, but...
That's still a ways away.
That's what Alliance maybe is thinking at this point. Wait for that, because they're the ones that have full... I mean, look at this net worth chart. Yeah, this is absurd. It was upwards of 7,000 net worth lead, though. We mentioned Vega. They've always had the lead, and then not anymore. 15,000 net worth lead now plus in favor of Alliance here.
It's difficult to make that call as Alliance because they were down. You have to keep in mind that they were taking fights despite being like 8k net worth down. They're like, if we don't take this fight, we are basically resigning ourselves to die inside of our high ground. But if we take some fights, maybe we'll lose it, but maybe we'll turn this game around. And the risk pays off. All their initiations were able to make sure that Vega Squadron were just never able to use their net worth advantage the way that they wanted to. And Loda has gotten far too large for anyone to deal with. He's probably going to drop this Flads, for his Satanic. Now there's really very little that Vega Squadron can do against this troll.
Jeez, yeah, that's a game-ending item right there for sure. It's that he's already been so absurd, and now even if you get close to killing him, it's just good luck with that at this point. They have so much save here between OD, between Dazzle, Clockwork, even in some sense, to help save him if need be. So it's pretty ridiculous how they're going to be able to keep this troll alive. And I'm watching them try to find this Quap, but meanwhile he's just taking out LC middle lane. That wasn't a duel, was it? Okay, no. We just found him, it looks like.
G wants to go for some backdoor plays. May just try to kill the creep wave, but he's going to need to be fast. 30 seconds, comes out, no Sonic Wave. Oh, he's ballsy. He's actually sending his courier to him as well. Oh wait, no, never mind, that's a Dire courier. Wow, he's staying there.
Yeah, well, the Alliance isn't responding, to be fair. They're just still going. Troll, the TP is currently in the backpack. So for OD, so similar across the board. OD, Hurricane Pike. Oh, still gets it on to Tusk, actually. Here we go, the BKB's pop. We've seen Lotus do this so much, where he just pops the BKB, goes in, takes out the racks, and falls back. It's just
and
so
they got a
smart.
buyback out of Legion Commander for it.
Well, Dazzle caught, put under though, and that's the Sonic Wave gonna whiff as a result. LC's like, do I duel you? Well, he does the Clockwork right here, but even Clockwork's tanky, and he's not gonna fall through on it. His teammates are dying around, and now Afterlife, he's going to the Afterlife unless he gets out of there. It looks like he might be fine to do so. But Crystal Maiden and Tusk picked off. Sanity is eclipsed, brings him to the depths beneath, and GG, well played, will be called. Alliance does take game number 1 here, and again, that was quite the swing. It was looking like Vega Squadron maybe had this of sorts, but they just couldn't break through as far as sieging, and eventually Loda just got way too strong. Wow.
Alliance were definitely playing like they had anger going on because that kind of aggression, like they were beaten down for like the first 20 or so minutes, and they're like, no, I'm not doing this again. I'm not letting Darkseer get 2 Chrysalises all over again. Okay, we're gonna start taking fights. We're gonna start winning fights, and by golly, they did it, turning around and 8K net worth advantage on its head and turning it into a 20K in their favor. So Alliance win pretty convincingly. They're rather they take advantage of Vega Squadron's, I guess, lack of initiation and turn it into a pretty solid victory.
Well played by Alliance, and it's got to be a feel-good victory. But again, similar to NIP earlier, they took the first game, and then ultimately, in that case, they lost the next two. So we'll see what happens here with Alliance. Looking pretty good in that game one as far as the comeback goes, and trying to set up for a nice solid 2-0. And again, the winner of this does move on to the playoff stage here of the Summit 7 European qualifiers. Well, guys, we're going to take